So it's been a couple of days since the hashtag End Bad Governance protest began, and many popular figures and celebrities have refused to lend their voices, platform, or show support for this particular protest. Less than a handful of them have come out openly to speak about what is going on in the country, while a few others have publicly distanced themselves from this particular protest. There is undoubtedly some level of expectations from the fans and public as regards to celebrities and popular figures using their platform and voices to show support, especially in crucial times like this where the people are going against a government that they feel doesn't care or want to listen to them. So the question now is, are popular figures and celebrities required to speak up during protests, or should they stay out of politics and activism? So throughout the history of popular culture, many celebrities and popular figures have used their platform to speak on issues concerning their fans and the public, whether it's here in Nigeria or in many parts of the world. For example, people like Fela used his music and his platform to talk about the corruption, oppression, and bad governance that was happening during his time in the 1960s, 1970s, and 1980s. Even up to as recent as 2020, during the NSAS protest, many celebrities and public figures were in front and led this particular protest until the point that it became very huge. We had people like Fowls, Runtown, Mr. Macaroni, even Davido's song Fame was like the soundtrack of that particular time. Burnout Boy had the whole billboard that showed the support for the protest. There was P Square, Vector, many of them had shown support. So over time, the public and the fans developed some level of expectations because they felt like for these celebrities to even become celebrities, they needed the support of the fans. And now in times like this where it felt that they needed some level of push so that the government can take them seriously, these celebrities are necessary to use their voice and their power and influence to be able to speak up on their behalf. But the thing is that most popular figures and celebrities are just entertainers or successful business people, and many of them are not really activists or thought leaders. It's not because somebody is successful that you automatically think that they're actually intelligent when it comes to issues that relate to politics and policy making. But the thing is that being a celebrity is usually seen as being a kind of leader among many others, because most people perceive that for you to become a popular person, it means that you have to be somewhat intelligent. So naturally, people usually ascribe intelligence and being a leader to a person that is considered a celebrity or a popular figure. But as history has shown us, because somebody is successful in entertainment, acting, business, it doesn't mean that they're actually knowledgeable when it comes to politics and activism. But the truth is that staying out of politics or protest is not really an option for many of these celebrities because the fans straight up demand it. I this is especially true for the ones that make content or songs about things like activism. For example, Burna Boy, Fowls, Mr. Macaroni, and so many others. So another question now is that why do many of these celebrities refuse to participate in politics and protests? So I'm going to make two cases. There's going to be the case for the celebrities and the case against the celebrities. For the case for the celebrities, you have to understand that many of these people are just entertainers or successful business people, and they have a lot to lose. They have their reputation, their endorsements, their business, and they don't want to make trouble with the government or those in power. Another very major part of why many of them refuse to get involved in activism and politics is because of they don't want to divide their fan base, because anything concerning politics is always going to be divisive. So for example now, if a celebrity starts talking about the APC government, saying that the APC government is bad, automatically people in their fan base that are APC supporters are going to start leaving them or talking bad against them or trolling them and saying all kinds of mean comments on their comment section. Many of them choose not to involve themselves in politics so that they don't have to experience such vileness from the fan base. Another reason is that many of these celebrities and public figures have some kind of contract that prevent them from participating in politics so that they don't affect the business that they are being signed to. Record labels, endorsements, many of these kind of contracts will tell them that, see you, don't get involved in politics, because once you start involving in politics, it can affect the support that people give you and to affect our business and all that kind of thing. So for the case against celebrities, many of these popular figures usually need the support of the fans to have or even sustain a career. So it's very understandable when the fans feel like they need these celebrities to show support for what they are experiencing by speaking up or at least leading the protest. So many people start to feel hurt when they feel like they've supported these artists by streaming their songs, going to their concerts, and showing all kinds of support, only for these celebrities to now decide to leave them hanging in times like this. It's very understandable, but at the same time, it's not very black and white. It's a very gray area because these celebrities are just human beings that some of them are quiet people, and you cannot really demand that they lead protest or lend their voices, especially as I've explained that some of them might have contracts or they don't want to divide their fan base. Another reason that may affect why many of these celebrities refuse to participate in protest and politics can be boiled down to something as simple as personality type. Some of them are introverts. They don't like talking, and it takes a lot of energy for them to come out and start talking and all that. While some of them are actually extroverts. So that can affect the type of people that would show support. Doesn't mean that because somebody is an introvert, they cannot show support for activism and protest, but it can affect them because it's all about energy. Another reason can be political consciousness. Political consciousness is something that is very deep, so I'm not going to go in depth in this particular video, but many people have not developed political consciousness. That's why many of the songs and content that are released are just pure entertainment. Compared to the past, the time of Fela, or even very recently, not very recently per se, but maybe a couple of decades ago, where we had people like African China, Idris Abdul Karim, that sang songs that are now used for protest. There was a certain level of political consciousness during that time. But as it seems now, so many artists, so many content creators, so many celebrities are no longer politically conscious. It's all about just making money, enjoying their life, and there's nothing bad in it though. But there's an obvious reduction in political consciousness among many of these popular figures. Now, another reason could be the political climate. If we check it, Nigeria is a kind of partial dictatorship. Yes, we may have elected a government, which is very debatable, but the way they behave towards the public, towards those that they are leading and supposed to take care of, you can feel this sense of dictatorship, and you experience that through political oppression, intimidation, like what was happening before this whole protest began, where the government kept talking that they are going to crack down on protesters and kept labeling that the protesters are politically motivated and using the police, the DSS, and all kinds of security agencies to intimidate the people. A good example was Iyabo Ojo. During that whole NSAS, I think it's the NSAS Abi Mohbad case. I can't remember, where she was actively going against the government, and not long after, the government came hard on her. The government used their power to try and close down her business, saying that she had not paid her tax. It's even happening to Shina Pella, the owner of Quillox, whereby very recently, up to like when this whole protest started, he showed support on social media, only for the government to just come and close down his club, saying it is for environmental reasons. So these are kind of political oppression that many of these popular figures and celebrities don't want to experience. So it's better for them to just keep quiet so that they don't have to spoil their business. The final reason is burnout. The truth is that a few celebrities have shown support and have protested against the government, but I think they are tired. For example, people like Mr. Macaroni and Faust have shown support for the fans, for the public, and it is recorded and respected. So nobody's even going to talk about Mr. Macaroni and Faust. But this particular protest, they refuse to come out to talk because I feel they are tired, because they've been protesting, and nothing has come out of it. And I feel like maybe their family members and people from the government would have called them and told them that stay out of this protest, because the government is looking for who they are going to pin it on and say these are the leaders. And as I said before, maybe they're just tired. It can be very time consuming and energy draining to just keep protesting and not seeing anything to come out of it. Mr. Macaroni has been arrested so many times. He has been harassed and locked up, and it is very easy for anybody to get burnt out from all these type of experiences. But the thing now is that in the past, many celebrities have actually showed support for protests, but I can feel like there's a very major difference between the protest of 2020, which was the NSAS, and the present End Bad Governance protest. The NSAS protest was about police brutality and oppression that affected many of these celebrities themselves, because those SARS operatives were just picking up boys that had a kind of look, And many of those celebrities fit that kind of profile with the tattoo, the dreadlock, and those SARS operatives were just oppressing young people. And many of these young people were the fan bases of these celebrities, and even they themselves, as I said before, they were experiencing the oppression from these SARS operatives. So it only made sense for them to come out and protest because, as I said, it was affecting them. But this particular protest, which is the hashtag End Bad Governance protest, is about economic situations that many of these celebrities and popular figures cannot fully relate to, because many of them are doing well financially. Even though the inflation has really eroded the value of the money that they have, is not as terrible as the common man. Because if we check the protest, many people are complaining about food. This particular protest is about hunger and basic survival. And many of these celebrities cannot really relate to it because at all, they still have something that they can eat, or they still have a couple of money in their bank account. So the fire is not really burning them for them to come out and start protesting. And even if they start protesting, those in the government will look at them like, what are you protesting for? You have money, so don't go and put yourself in this kind of situation. Another difference from NSAS protest and this particular protest is that because of what happened in NSAS, the violence and the destruction, the government has come out very hard to try to intimidate the public so that they don't protest and cause destruction. But unfortunately, it has not worked. Maybe in Lagos, the government has really come out hard and tried to protect property and all that. But the protest itself has begun, and there's only so much the government can do. A hungry man is an angry man. You cannot beat somebody and tell them not to cry. So even with all the intimidation and pushback from the government and the government supporters, people are still protesting. So that intimidation, I think, is what may have scared many of these celebrities, because it's true experience from the past. They see that even by protesting, nothing is really coming out of it. So they just feel like, oh, let me just mind my business. The third reason now is the experience from the past, because this particular protest, the government came out and were saying that they want to know who the leaders of this protest so that they can discuss. And everybody knows that the government just wants to just pin whatever destruction that will come out of this protest on whoever the leader is. And the truth is that there's no leader when it comes to this whole protest. The leader is hunger, unemployment, inflation, bad government, and all these things that people are experiencing firsthand. So many of these celebrities don't want the smoke. They don't want any part of all the problems that can come from claiming leadership from this particular protest. So I hope this video answers the question of, are celebrities required to speak up during protests, or should they stay out of politics and activism? If you agree or disagree with what you heard in this video, please drop a comment below. Give the video a thumbs up if you like what you heard. Subscribe to the channel for more contents related to psychology or pop culture. My name is Kola, and I'll see you in my next videos. Bye for now.